Are we all Simone Biles? Have we all been through some things harder? Maybe not as hard that we're all trying to get through and overcome, and still we rise. Let's get into it. Now, if you are new here, I am Denise Brady. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I love reality TV, movies, documentaries, and right about now, I just sat through Simone Biles docuseries. And as a black woman, I felt seen. I felt heard. And there are a lot of aspects of this documentary that bring to light that you can overcome your trauma. Your trauma does not have to consume you. Even though you have so much stuff going on around you, inside of you, relationships, things outside your control, you can put yourself first and still overcome. Now, Simone Biles is the GOAT. Everybody nowadays who's going into gymnastics, what is their goal? To beat Simone. Okay? But you can't beat somebody who has already beat the odds. Now, Simone herself has been through a lot of different traumatic things. And the docuseries shed light on a black girl trying to overcome. A black girl trying to find her way. And how it took one moment for her to decide, I'm going to put myself first. With all these cameras, everyone watching me, the pressure, the expectations, I'm going to choose me. And at that time, everyone was like, what's going on? What's happening? Simone, did she just step out of the Olympics? Yes. And it demonstrates how, even though you have a lot of pressure, you can be up here in your life, sometimes you need a break. You need to come down here. And watching the docuseries, I learned a lot about her as a person. Now, Netflix, y'all doing y'all things with these docuseries. I see what y'all doing. Okay? Y'all trying to get us and you got me. Now, okay, we start with watching her go through the Olympics. She's trying to overcome the mental things, the anxiety, the pressures of acquiescing to what everyone else wants. Can you relate? Trying to find yourself in a sea of what everyone else says you should be doing, what's best for you, what we think. Okay, but in this moment, she chose herself. She stepped away from something that could have really harmed her mentally and physically. And looking at her upbringing, her childhood, she has a lot of trauma. Okay, she has a mother and a father who, due to substance abuse and things like that, were not able to take care of her. So she ends up living with her grandparents. And luckily for her, they were a loving foster home who became biological parents. Now, to some people it might be like, oh, her grandparents are raising her. No, that's her mama and her daddy. They've been through those harder nights. They saw these two girls grow up together and trying to overcome so many different obstacles. And so you have that already against her, being born into a system where her mother seems like she had her own trauma that she had not worked through. Okay, then you have three other siblings going back and forth through foster care, watching her mom abuse substances. I believe her father also. And she could have continued that life. She could have had to stay living with her mother and her father, going through the things you see of children living with parents who are using substances. Now, some people might feel like it's very selfish for a parent to choose substances, but if you have not worked in addiction, if you have not worked through watching people, helping them heal. I've done a lot of work in addiction, and I don't come from a framework of it being selfish. I feel like a lot of times the addiction has consumed people so much that all they know is the substance. All they know is their addiction. Do they want to get help? Some of them. Are some of them just like, I give up on everything because I'm going to focus on getting my itch scratched? Yes. And I worked with a lot of women, primarily women, who were trying to overcome substance abuse, trying to get off the streets, out that life, and regain custody of their children. And I saw the ups and downs. That to me was a pivotal moment in my career because I learned so much from people who were just trying to survive, trying to overcome the system. A lot of people are born into systems that they don't have control of. You have your parents who have substance abuse issues, trauma, and so you're born into something you have no control over. And that's what happened with Simone Biles and her siblings. They were born into systems they did not have control over. And I wonder about those other two siblings, because I know people don't like to talk about this as much, but I remember her brother was, I think, charged with murder or something like that. They didn't talk much about it in the docuseries, but I remember that. You also notice that her other sister, that they don't really show or talk about, So it makes me wonder, you know, sometimes people grow up in the foster care system and they get split up from their siblings. And sometimes a set of siblings has a better life than some other siblings. So I wonder if we can have some of that generational trauma, some of that you had it better than me, all of that is probably there. Because they had to stay in Ohio, whereas Simone and her sister were able to grow up, I believe, in Texas. So you have her trying to overcome her demons. How many people can relate? The trauma you have been through. And when she got to that point in her Olympic career, you have to think your body remembers all of that. And I think her body is her career. So I believe the trauma mixed with current anxiety, current emotions, things she was going through really took over. Your body keeps the score. Your body remembers all of that trauma. And as much as you may be working on in therapy, as much as you're trying to maybe avoid it and not pay attention to it, it consumes you. And in this state, I feel like her trauma caught up to her. All of it just exploded. And if she did not decide to put herself first and she had gone on that bar, there could have been some permanent damage. But you see through this docu-series her taking a step back, pulling the curtain back, being human, and letting you know just because I'm the GOAT does not mean that I haven't been through the same things you probably have. The anxiety, the depression, the SA. Now let's talk about that. You have to think when she's at that point where she took a step back in that Olympic, the liquid qualifying games, or when she's at the Olympics, she was also going through the whole court case with the individual who was her perpetrator. And I do believe the gymnastics system really did do all those girls wrong. They were so focused on money, gold, making athletes, that they forgot about the person behind the medal, the person with the medal over their neck. All they cared about was the money. And for so long, all these girls, unfortunately, were taken advantage of. They were young, and they were under the guise that these are our leaders. These are the people we look up to. These are the people who are cultivating our careers. And some of them, they might have told their parents. Some of them might have spoken to somebody, but nobody was listening. They're focused on one thing, okay? And for so many years, they had to stuff down what they were going through. Hide it. Some of them run from it. You even heard in the docuseries, some girls were still crying, sharing their stories. And I think it's good also that Simone discussed her own therapeutic experience. The things that she is working through, the things that she is trying to use to cope when those thoughts get the best of her. And now, I think talk therapy is amazing. But when you have body trauma, I really do think that people need EMDR or somatic therapy. Because your body, you want to release that. Because your body will hold on. And through stress, different diseases, some people have chronic diseases, heart disease, all of that stuff that your body is carrying perpetuates and has that disease, chronic illness, stress, aneurysms grow inside of you. So I want to encourage you to work through the body trauma, to work through the things that not only is up here, but is in here. Whenever I'm working with clients who have SA trauma, I want to use EMDR therapy. I want them to bring all that stuff that's down here up and out. Because the more we talk about it, we can talk, but I want it to come out from your mouth and through the pores of your body. I want you to be able to walk around with not thinking or having these triggers that your body feels. The tenseness, the clenched hands, the sweaty palms, okay? And so for people who are trying to overcome those kind of body traumas, it's also reconnecting with your body that Simone worked on. And it showed you how the first year after she was getting back in the gym, she was off and on, not really consistent, okay? And her body had to redevelop itself. She had to redevelop a relationship with her body, okay? Once again, as a therapist, I try and help people regain possession of their bodies. Because sometimes when you have been taken advantage of, Do you see your body as yours? Or do you still see it as that individual's? Those people who did those things to you. So I really want to help people reconnect and own, this is me, this is mine. And I think that over time, Simone has worked through that. Okay. Now they also talked about hair gates. Okay. And how, to me, on the internet, you give someone a little bit of something, they will run with it. And like she said, y'all talking about me from y'all couch when I'm at the Olympics. Okay, y'all can talk about my hair while you sit over there and I'm getting medals. I'm collecting checks. I'm the GOAT. So that's what you also have to remember, is that no matter what you do, people are going to talk. Positive, negative. People need something to talk about to distract themselves from their own lives. Okay, remember that at the end of the day, people need something to talk about to distract themselves from their own lives. And I'm glad that she did not allow the naysayers, the people who talk about her, to get to her, to take away from her moments. Okay, I really wish we heard a little bit more from Gabby. Now I know that this is Simone's docuseries, but I think Gabby was also very pivotal when it comes to seeing Black girls in gymnastics. Okay, I think we saw people from the past, like older gymnasts from the 90s and things like that, but there was a big, movement with Gabby. And when that hair stuff happened, was also pivotal. And now I'm not sure if it's because the bullying would happen, but we don't hear too much from Gabby as much. And I want to know more about that. Now, we saw a little bit of her, but I wanted more. I needed more of that. Okay. They also focus on her relationship. Okay. Now, she is the prize. I know they did those interviews a couple months ago where he said that he was the prize. Okay, buddy. He didn't know who Simone was when he met her. The lies. The lies. And I get that, you need to feed your ego and you want to feel as important as your wife. But at the end of the day, what is his name, Jonathan? I barely remember your name. Now, Simone, we gonna always remember Simone. Okay? Even when or if the day comes where she moves on from this relationship. Now, I'm not putting that out there because I want healthy Black relationships, marriages in general, to be healthy. But at the end of the day, people know Simone. If you ask somebody on the street about who has the most medals in gymnastics, who is Simone Biles, people know what to say. And her husband's name is what? Is it Jonathan Owens? I think. How many people know who that person is? Who do not pay attention to sports? But this was a good docu-series. I'm looking forward to looking at the episodes that are coming out in the fall. But Simone is human. She showed y'all behind that gold, behind those medals, I'm a human just like you. I have been through things just like you have. And it is okay to put yourself first. To take some time to reflect. To not put yourself in positions that can harm you for the applause, likes, the comfort of other people. Now, I'm sure it made people uncomfortable to see her walk off that mat, but her career and who she is as a person has only elevated. So, a few things. Put yourself first. Stop trying to people please. You can overcome your trauma. Your trauma does not define you as a person. All right? Now, of course, I want to know you guys' thoughts. Make sure you like, you subscribe, you hit that notification bell because you never want to miss one of your girls' videos. But what should we watch next? Let us sis know. Bye.